All right, and welcome back to another class on students. So we're going to do another, I'm going to do another, what? It just jumped right out of my head. Action pose position. So we got my two pencils, an H2 and an H4. I forgot which one is darker. I think the higher the number, the darker the pencil. So that's an H4, H2. So the lower the number, the darker the pencil. Yeah, the higher the number, the lighter the pencil. So we're going to do this H2, and this is the difference between a 2, H2, and this is a H4. So big difference. So if you get I think H2 is as low as you can go. It's not like a H1. There's a HB. Oh no, when you start to get to the Bs, like a B, B2, B4, B6, that's when you get to the super black colors. So these are the light pencils. These are the lighter color pencils. The H's, I think, is a harder lead, and the B is more of a softer lead. So what did I say? H2, darker. Let's see. We'll go with the H4 first. If you can't see it, then we'll switch back. So again, I'm gonna try to fill up the paper as best I can because I don't want a little tiny little drawing. And yeah, yeah. And I want to try to keep this under 30 minutes. I don't want to sacrifice my drawing for time just to make a fast drawing, but I want to try to master how these people do these 10-minute videos. I can't get that and get so much crammed into a 10-minute video, like it was like, enjoyable, like you the whole day in 10 minutes. So okay, so he's going to be leaning over. So you want to get, your from your head to your foot pretty much like with that one line, and then you go, well, I'll do that, and then I'll throw my torso in there. That determines the size. Are you kind of blurred on me there, Mr. Camera? Determine the size. Okay, let's go to an H. Let's go to a darker. So yeah, and then we'll get that line. So then I want to get my shoulders. So this is not like the center line. This is just kind of the angle he's going to go. So if his back is going to come here and his side is going to go, it's going to follow that line. So, and versus starting with the head, that's the thing I was going to say. You don't want to start with your head and then your feet come off the page. You always want to do your torso because that's the biggest part. What is this? Get the yellow back in there. For some reason, it's with the brighter color, it kind of somewhat stays focused. And then it has its days when it doesn't. And I also want to cut out some of this, me trying to get this thing focused. That's just, sometimes it's just aggravating. So okay, my center line is going to come down like this because this is a ball, and it's going to curve around in his stomach, and then it's going to have his waist. So let's get rid of this line there. And I'm trying to figure out, I want to show you how to do the torso. I've done a number of things on the torso, but I know a lot of new people have not seen that video on doing the torso, because if you get the torso right, you're good to go. So it's collarbone. So I'm going to put the head about right here. And the only reason I'm doing the head quickly, so quickly, like right now, is because I want to make sure the body, it determines the size of the shoulders, the head. If I did a female, her head would be a lot bigger. So by throwing that head on there, especially when it leans over, when I draw a picture straight up, I don't put the head on right away. It's usually the last thing, but when it's leaning over, by putting the head in there quickly, you can determine how much the person is leaning by where the chin comes down into the neck or to the collarbone, how close. Okay, so I have my center line, and let's do my delt circle. And anytime I draw slowly, it gets stiff. So I'm going to try not to make it too stiff. So let's do my stomach, which is where the chest is going to be right here. Just bring that chest around, so my stomach is going to be here. So of course, this is going to be that line, and there's going to be this line right here. So the chest is going to turn here and come up. So the love handles are going to be like right here, but this is going to be tucked in. because I'm going to bring his foot up. His foot is going to be up. So the obliques, that's what it is, the obliques, like right here. So, or this would be the tuna can for you premium members who've been here for a minute. And then you would have the, you know, and the hips and the waist. I just, for some reason, my brain just will not identify the two. You have the waist, hips. See what I'm saying? So right here, I'm gonna bring that leg up and around. With that knee about right here. So you have your front circle and your back circle right there. So this other leg is going to be coming down and then bent. So that's just an oval circle for your knee and your triangle, which I'm not really doing a triangle right now. So this other part of the leg is going to come and then go back. And this part and this part are the same length. So if you have something that's like one shorter than the other, you're wrong. So, and also if you tuck your leg underneath, your heel is going to be hit your buttocks. So your heel is not going to come like right here because that's too short. So the heel is going to come way back here. Try stooping down and then seeing what I'm saying. And this is going to be round. So this, because of the strength of that calf, is going to round itself up. What am I writing on? I think once the camera warms up, it gets a little better. So this is going to come around. Say that, and it's going to blur. It goes down because your knee is right here, and then it's going to curve around here. This is your calf. It's going to be like this, but some of it's going to cover that leg, and it's going to come down. And then you're going to have your foot. Like that. Now, of course, this is turned in to face you. It's not sideways because you're seeing the front of this knee right here. And now that I have this, it's like kind of like stops right there. Like that, and this other foot is going to go down, but he's going to be on top of something. Because you wouldn't just put your foot up in the air like that. You're not running. So let's throw this arm back. And that last video I did, well, the last action pose position I did is before this one. My delt, I knew something was wrong. I think it's one before this. The delt was too small. Your delt comes basically down to the bottom of your chest. If your arm is straight down, but if your arm is out, but your delt is a little bigger than what I drew. And then this one is going to go back. So you're going to see some of this, just his bicep right here. And then you're going to see this. So his arm, the other hand is going to be right back here. If you put it out like this, you can do that, but to me it's not it's not as powerful. To have that power, you keep stuff tight against you, and I keep moving my arms like you can see the rest of my body. So I'm going to put this one right back here. And he can have a sword in his hand, depending on, you know, what you're drawing. And he can have one in this hand. I said, depending on what you're drawing, you could have a gun, you could have another gun, you could have sticks, you could have whatever, chains dangling down. It depends on what you want to do. So now we've got this, give him a little more shoulder, give him a little more neck that actually comes down to the point. And then the shoulder is like this. And the delt goes all the way back here. So you won't see it because of the angle. You won't see too much of it because of the angle. So you have this, and then you have the delt, the chest. Now, let's address the stomach in the room. So because it's pinching over here, which I could have brought it down a little bit more to pinch a little bit more. Do I want to do that? Why not? I'm only 11 minutes into the video anyway. Don't ever be afraid to erase. The more you draw something, the better you get at it. If you erase your hand 50 times and you redraw it 50 times, then you have become a better artist in drawing hands. What is it? H2, H4? Which one was it? H4, H2. What was I doing? Okay, so got this. This is it's gonna kind of be squished in, and then we will give him a little bit of leg, which is basically the same, right? I can bring it up more, which is basically the same what you had. So I would have to tilt this shoulder over more. Let's get this leg back in here. This leg was right. I don't know why, because I'm trying. Have to have room for the man junk. This is going to come all the way down and into here. The man junk is going to be there. I want to bring this leg out more, in and out. And again, my heater was on. So if you just heard the noise cut off, that's because I'm so used to it coming on and going off. This room I'm in is like really cold. It's like most of the heat goes to my living room, and it's like what's left over comes into this room from the way that they put the vents in, it's not the pipes, the whatever you call it that's in the ceiling. I had some guys come out and take a look at it, and they were saying the way they put it in, it was wrong when they built this place. So most of the air goes up to the front of the house and not to the back of the house. So in the wintertime, I pull out my little space heater to help out. So what did I say? Let's turn the shoulder down just to see. I don't know why you keep fidgeting. I mean, it was right, and I was happy with it. Let's bring the shoulder down just because, which means you're gonna have to bring the chest over. I do miss having an eraser on the edge of my pencil. All right, stomach. Since this is coming together, Get to a place where I can see, because the more scratches I have with my pencil, the more glare it is. So you want to put one here. It's going to come out like that. So, you know, if you're pinching them together, I don't want to say like an accordion, but you're going to, it's good. Your abs are going to look like that. You're still going to have the coming in and out, but where you starting to squeeze them together, they're going to come together. And then this one, you can still have the openness of it. And then of course, when you come up from here, this is going to be your ribs, where you go straight up where your waist is, and you curve around to the center part of your neck. Back there, you make that fang, and then those are where your ribs are going to be at. So this is going to come down and squeeze in and come out into the waist. Your legs come all the way up. So this little piece here is going to be the buttocks, realistically. Legs come up and they're kind of shaped like this right here. And the rest is just the buttocks. So this knee is going to be in the center, because it's going to be, the weight is going to be on that foot. These pencils are good, but the erasers just, they don't last very long. All right, Brian, draw the leg, draw the leg. So that knee has to be in the center of that point. You have this part that comes around and goes down into the calf, to the ankle. Little piece here, and then it comes out and goes down there. This is going to be like this, and it curves back up and then back down, and you have that other side of that muscle that's going to come around. So you're going to have that division in between there. And that knee. And let's work with this arm and this shoulder and this chest. And why am I drawing in red? So there's a muscle in the neck that goes up both sides. And then on the side, there are little muscles, but it makes this little dip, this little upside down V there on both sides. And let me eliminate some of that shoulder. So this is going to be more rounded while I'm making my stuff flat. Coming in between there. And I'm fidgeting now. So let me give him a generic head. He is going to be looking this way. My time, 21 minutes, not too shabby. I think I have one cut going on. So the chin is going to be flat like that and then up like the chin. The neck comes right back behind where those ears are. So center line, chin is flat here. Let me do blue. Maybe you might see it better. Totally different. Chin is going to be right here. And I tend to draw my head and then it's too short. I don't know why. The chin always has to be longer. I always have to make my chin longer. So it's going to come straight down here. After this curve up top here, it's going to come straight down. So what I usually do is I'll find where my eyes are going to go, like center, pretty much like that. Then I'll go from this point to this edge of this chin and I'll do a line like that. And wherever this other edge of the chin is, I'll do it on the other side. Sometimes you don't have any room. And I'm going to do a video just showing how, this is how I started drawing faces. And this one's going to basically kind of go straight across and then it kind of curves out. And then your nose is going to come off here. And you're going to put this little piece here, the bottom of your nose. And you have to kind of like master drawing noses, which I have not really mastered them yet. And then just below that is your mouth. And then your eyes. And I usually put the eyes right on the line, depending if he's looking up or looking down. So if I did this, here's my line, here's my nose. There's my heater coming back on. So depending on if the angle is up or down, I'll put the eyes right there on the line. If he's kind of like looking up, then I'll put them below the line and vice versa. So that's, you know, it depends on the angle of your drawing. So let me cut this heater off. You might not hear it, but let me just cut it off because it bothers me sometimes. Because my lights go dim and dark, dim and brighter when it comes and goes off. So anytime you do your nose, you want to come right up and right up into that brow. So if I did this, this is my center line. Let's just say, here's my nose. I'm gonna do my nose. Well, okay, eyes. Let's do my eyes right here, eye right here. So my nose is gonna be right here. Just come up straight and then form that brow, and then it's gonna come in and out and down. So you gotta be able to do that nose, because that nose is, got that little, I can't think of what that's called right now. It's a little bulbous area, and then you have your nostril, and then the little wings that come over the nostril. Depending on male, female, bad guy, baby, handsome kind of man, whatever. So yeah, that depends on that. What you draw, what type of person you want to draw. And I always have one crooked eye. I don't know, I haven't really mastered that yet. Even though I have my line, one eye is always crooked. And I think you'll be able to see it better when I ink it and then erase. So that is your standard generic face. Why does everybody have to look so evil? And then if you want to put the little cheekbone and the little part that comes down, the dimple is over here, but that is definitely not a dimple. So am I keeping the swords? Why not? That way you'll know he's got something in his hand. And the good thing about when you do a sword is the guard. It covers up the hand. So as long as you have the palm, this part, I don't have anything round. I have a mirror, but that's not going to work. Yeah, as long as you show this part, the guard is going to come here and cover up. Depending on how big the guard is, or if you want a circle, or it could be a square or a triangle, or just, you know, just straight across like that, depending on what you want to do. But it does hide a lot of hand drawing, of having to draw hands. So since I got the blue, let's finish with the blue. And it's always a samurai sword, Brian. I don't know why. So, okay, so let's do this. It's going to be out here, so it's going to have to be there. So you're going to shift this over. Short sword. Got the samurai. Short sword. And since that, let's just do this. Let's give him more of a triangle for the guard. That could be a pointy sword. It could be a I wanted basically the edge to be right on the top. So let's curve that a little bit. And you might see this sides of that. And the same thing with this guy, except the sword, the sharp edge is going to be at the bottom. Like that. So let's put his foot on something. And then again, a cover up is when you just something there. It could be a steps or whatever. I don't know what that whatever is. Let's just do some kind of blocky kind of thing. That he hasn't really reached yet. Some kind of crazy looking blocky steps. That really don't make sense, but just to give him something to stand on. And he's coming over. And it could be some in the back too. He had to climb over. Yeah, that's why he's mad, because he's like, got me climbing over all these crazy looking rocky things. All right, so I think that's going to be good enough. And let me ink this and then maybe add just a little bit of detail. But of course, it's going to be a fast motion, because it's 29 minutes and 7 seconds with one cut, which only took probably like 7 or 8 seconds while my camera wanted to focus. So let me grab a thin pen. I always do a thin pen because it's got a greater point. That way I can get into the face and the muscles, and then I go over it with a thicker pen to give it some line weight and blah blah. So okay, here we go. Fast motion. So I think that's gonna do it for this cat. let me erase. And I don't like erasing because when I erase, and you have to erase, there's always something that you see that you missed because of the pencil lines. You're more confident with your pencil than you're inking, and you throw stuff and it's just neat, and then when you ink it, you're like, oh man, I missed this, or that doesn't look as good because you have all that pencil filling in a lot of those other spaces, so that when you erase and take it out, it's just kind of, yeah, it's kind of not there anymore. So yeah, I think that's going to be it. Oh yeah, and always use a ruler. If you're doing a sword or something, use a ruler, because you screw up something. If it's supposed to be straight and you draw it and you're not drawing it straight, you could screw it up like I did the top of this sword. And I could, you know, fuss over this and add this and take this away and play with this and do this and that and potentially mess it up. But I am going to call this one a wrap because I hear the bell ringing. So that means class is dismissed. See what I'm saying about missing some stuff? And I will see you guys in the next video.